Welcome to the demo of the 26A feature. Supply the materials of Phantom components from the subinventory defined for the Phantom in the work definition, in Oracle Fusion Cloud Manufacturing. This feature enhances the supply subinventory defaulting for Phantom components. The supply subinventory specified for a Phantom in the parent assembly work definition is now considered in the defaulting hierarchy. If specified, it defaults as the supply subinventory for the components of that Phantom on the work order. There are cases when it's imperative to keep the supply subinventory grouping for components under a Phantom intact on the parent assembly work order. This capability provides greater flexibility in designating a supply subinventory for Phantom components. This demo shows how the supply subinventory defaulting logic is applied in the order of priority. We'll review work definition operation items where a supply subinventory is specified for one Phantom and a supply subinventory isn't specified for another Phantom. I'll create a discrete manufacturing work order. We'll observe the order of priority in the resulting work order. The first priority is the supply subinventory of the Phantom in the parent assembly work definition. The second priority is the supply subinventory of the component in the Phantom work definition. The third priority is the supply subinventory of the component in the item organization. The last priority is the supply subinventory defined for the manufacturing plant in the plant parameter. In this demo, I'll use parent assembly FIT 3000. There are two Phantom items under FIT 3000. They are EPX100000 and EPX100001. We'll review how supply subinventory is defaulted for components ECM100000, ECM100001 and ECM100002 under Phantom item EPX100000. We'll also review how supply subinventory is defaulted for components ECM200000, ECM200001, ECM200002 and ECM200003 under Phantom item EPX100001. I've logged in as a system administrator. I've enabled the opt-in for the feature. I've logged in as a manufacturing engineer. I search for work definition for item FIT 3000. Click Work Definition Name Main. We're viewing the operation items of Work Definition Main for item FIT 3000. Note that for item EPX100000, with supply type Phantom, supply subinventory AABMNN01 is specified. While for item EPX100001, whose supply type is also Phantom, a supply subinventory isn't specified. We're now viewing the item structure for item EPX100000. There are 10 components under item EPX100000. There's no work definition defined for item EPX100000. Here's the item structure for item EPX100001. There are 4 components under item EPX100001. There's a work definition defined for item EPX100001. Here's the work definition for item EPX100001. There are 4 work definition operation items. The supply subinventory for items ECM200000 and ECM200001 is specified as FGI. The supply subinventory for items ECM200002 and ECM200003 isn't specified. Before we create a work order, let's verify the default supply subinventory defined for manufacturing plant M1. The supply subinventory in the plant parameter is specified as stores. Let's also verify the supply subinventory for item ECM 200002 in organization M1. The supply subinventory is specified as ABC sub 02. While the supply subinventory for item ECM 200003 in organization M1 isn't specified. We're ready to create a work order now. I've logged in as a production supervisor. I'm creating a discrete standard work order for item fit 3000 for quantity 10. Work order M1-1463 for item fit 3000 is created successfully. Click Materials tab. Let's review the work order operation items, specifically those components that have been exploded, from Phantom's EPX100000 and EPX100001. ECM 100000, ECM 100001, ECM 100002 are components that come from Phantom item EPX 100000. In the work definition for the parent assembly fit 3000, supply subinventory AAB MNN01 is specified for Phantom item EPX 100000. The supply subinventory specified for a work definition operation item in the parent assembly work definition is the first priority in the supply subinventory defaulting hierarchy. We see supply subinventory AAB MNN01 has been defaulted for the components of Phantom item EPX 100000 on the work order. Next, let's review ECM 200000 and ECM 200001. They are components that come from Phantom item EPX 100001. In the work definition for the parent assembly fit 3000, a supply subinventory isn't specified for Phantom item EPX 100001. The second priority in the supply subinventory defaulting hierarchy is the supply subinventory of the component in the Phantom work definition. Item EPX 100001 has a work definition. In the work definition, supply subinventory FGI is specified for components ECM 200000 and ECM 200001. Accordingly, supply subinventory FGI has been defaulted for components ECM 200000 and ECM 200001 on the work order. Next, let's review ECM 200002 and ECM 200003. Again, they are components that come from Phantom item EPX 100001. In the work definition for item EPX 100001, a supply subinventory isn't specified for components ECM 200002 and ECM 200003. In the organization M1, supply subinventory ABC sub 02 is specified for item ECM 200002. However, a supply subinventory isn't specified for item ECM 200003. Because item organization definition is the third priority in the supply subinventory defaulting logic, accordingly, supply subinventory ABC sub 02 has been defaulted for component ECM 200002 on the work order. And because a supply subinventory isn't specified for item ECM 200003 in the organization M1, supply subinventory stores from the plant parameter has been defaulted for item ECM 200003 on the work order. To summarize, with this feature, specifying a supply subinventory for a Phantom in the parent assembly work definition will now default the supply subinventory to the Phantom components on the work order. The order of priority is: first, parent assembly work definition. Second, Phantom work definition. Third, item organization definition. And lastly, plant parameter. This concludes the feature demo. Thank you for watching.